Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching Technique Tuesday, presented to you by TheCaliEffect. Today we're going to be going over... I know what you guys have been thinking. Oh, CaliEffect, what happened to your So Cool mat? Well, I forgot it. It's my fault. Leo Play Strong did let me use his pretty cool mat with the two dark paladin girls or whatever. But let's get down to the main reason why you guys are here. You guys want to learn how to use your hand traps effectively. And I, TheCaliEffect, am here to teach you. Now... there's an array of hand traps that I have right here. Ones that I won't be talking about, naming specific, or Electric Virus, Puppet Plant, and DD Crow. Now, mainly because Puppet Plant and Electric Virus are pretty obvious what deck should have them, what deck should be using them. Obviously, the cards that you want to take, you want to maximize your plays with it. So the only thing I can think of that would use Puppet Plant and Electric Virus right now efficiently is Monarchs. And then DD Crow, it doesn't really hit as an array of decks as it used to, so I just completely left that out. So let's start off with Effect Veiler. Now, Effect Veiler is a type of card that you really have to play it depending on your local. Typically, you can run 3 Effect Veilers in almost every deck, any deck that you want to play and win competitively with, and you will get away with it. Mainly because it is a tuner if all else fails, and secondly, it's, I don't know, negating effects in a meta that's so effect heavy, it just seems to be good for some reason. So, I would probably, at max, run it at 2. Like if it's at the worst, run it at 2 if you don't have the room. But definitely never run it at 1. It makes no sense to run 1 Effect Veiler at 1. All of your hand traps actually should at least be at 2. I can't think of a single one right now that should be at 1. But if you want to maximize your Effect Veiler, please do not Effect Veiler stuff that won't win them the game or something that isn't critical. I've seen so many times where the opponent has Effect Veilered my Fire Fist Bears effect to prevent their Sangan from getting destroyed or something like that. And I'm like, okay, I'll just follow up with my Spirit play. And they see me add Spirit to my hand. You want to save the Effect Veiler for when the time is right. You want to save it for when you can actually negate something that's going to be meaningful. Something that's going to change the game. I promise you, if you go by this rule, you will never, ever regret using Effect Veiler, or say I used Effect Veiler too early. You really have to wait for the right time. The next card is even a bigger card that people tend to misplay with, is Max C. Now, Max C should be ran, sighted, and trips, no matter what. That's just my feeling on Max C. Because you want this card opening turn, you want this card as fast as possible, and mid to late game Max C isn't the most amazing thing. While it still might not be bad, opening it first turn is the best possible solution. So you want to side or main 3, no exceptions. And then a lot of people, they want to use it on stuff like, okay, you have 2 monsters. I'll Max C you before you sync or Exceed summon or Synchro summon. Why? You're only gaining that 1+ card back if your opponent decides to Exceed or Synchro summon. You want to Max C when your opponent has to special summon. That's the biggest thing. Or when you don't want them to special summon. Max C is what we like to call a deterrent card. While it doesn't prevent your opponent from doing stuff, it really gives your opponent the advantage if you continue on doing it. Let's take, for example, Dragon Rulers. If a player A Max C's player B on the first dragon, what would player B need to summon more dragons for? Like, you already Max C'd me. You got your 1 card back. I'll just pass my turn with the dragon on field. Whether it's Blasters, Tempest, Tidal, or Boulders. You never want to go off under Max C. And that's what a smart player would be thinking. Do not go off under Max C, people. Unless you absolutely have to. You have game, and there's nothing that your opponent can stop you. But more often than not, you don't have game. It's not, your opponent can't stop you, and all this other stuff. There's only probably a couple of times that I've ever went off of Max C, and I guarantee you I've had game. Overall, it's not a card you want to main deck, if you ask me, at a local level, unless all your locals can include Dragon Ruler, Mermail, 6 Sam, then sure, why not? But at local level, I really like to leave Max C out, because you see a lot of Black Wings and Chain Burn and just skill drain type decks, so it's not that much of a good card. You want to main it when your opponent's just special summon out the ass. Next, this card has felt like completely out of life, but I still think this card has potential. Droll and Lockbird. Stopping your opponent from drawing is key. And this card essentially shuts out Dark Worlds. It just shuts them completely out. Really, really good card, but it's almost at the same essence of Maxi. I'm going to take you guys back to the Judgment Day Prophecy deck, because that's where I really want to show you guys the true potential of Dueling Lockbird. You do not want to Dueling Lockbird when your opponent goes Spellbook of Secrets. You don't want to Dueling Lock when they summon Little Boy. You want to Dueling Lock when they activate Judgment Day. Why? Because they've already wasted all their resources to get Judgment Day to their hand and activate it. And then you stop the biggest plus that they have for that deck. Once you Dueling Lock the Judgment Day, it doesn't matter. They can't search anymore. They cannot get Judgment Day's effect. That same rule still applies for Dueling Lockbird. Even when you're playing against Dark World, you want to Dueling Lock exactly when they can't do anything further. When they want to draw more than ever, you want to stop them with that Dueling Lock. There's obviously some other decks that I can't think of right now that Dueling Lock has a really good play against, but I'm just going against those in particular. Dueling Lock is a card that you really have to put a lot of thought into, and you should never be maining it now, especially since Prophecies don't have J-Days and Dark Worlds aren't relevant. If Dark Worlds are very, very relevant in your meta, like, I don't know, 10 out of the 15 players play Dark Worlds, then I guess it's fine to main Dueling Lock in your main board. But other than that, it's also another one of those cards you need 3 or none in your sideboard or main board, mainly because you want to see it as early as possible to stop your opponent in their stuff. Next is Swift Iron Scarecrow. Or Swift Scarecrow, I apologize. Swift Scarecrow is starting to see a lot more popularity, mainly because it stops OTKs that Dragunities have, it stops those big plays for Dragon Rulers, and it gives the opponent the extra turn. Now this one, I really don't care for. You can really main 1, you can main 2, you can main 3, or you don't have to use anything at all. It doesn't matter. It's a very flexible hand trap. But keep in mind, you don't want to just Swift Scarecrow anytime your opponent wants to hit you directly. You want to Swift Scarecrow when either A, you run Solemn Judgment and your opponent's going to make you under 2,000 life points. B, you're going to lose. Or C, you're going to lose. Because there's no other way. You want to maximize the capabilities of your cards. If your opponent has 1 monster and is attacking you for 1,900, go ahead and keep taking that 1,900 until they summon multiple monsters and they want to hit you for game. And then that's when you want to start Swift Scarecrowing them. Same thing goes for Battle Fader as well. Unless you have some Monarch or Light and Darkness Dragon play, save onto these hand traps. Because these hand traps should be used at critical points in the game that can decide the game for you. That's really all I have to say about hand traps today. But thank you guys for watching another segment of The Cali Effect. Please like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy.